Good morning and welcome to my live. Today I've come live to speak about the forthcoming solstice and the annular solar eclipse. And it is a great galactic event, an event that has not been seen within human history. I'm going to speak a little bit about what is happening from the galactic point of view. I'm also going to bring in certain codes and certain number frequencies and so forth. So basically, the solstice and the eclipse event is happening around between the 20th and the 21st of June. So what I'm doing is I'm going to bring in those particular dates, just to give a little bit of an analysis of those dates from the number frequencies, because number frequencies, cosmic movements, planetary movements, all come hand in hand. This is why often or not, as souls, we plan dates of birth, forms part of the Akashic field and so forth. It forms part of the greater plans. So dates come in, astrology, planetary movements and so forth. Everything is orchestrated. So first and foremost, 20th and 21st of June. Okay, so the solstice itself, it's taking place on the 21st of June 2020 at 6:40.3 seconds a.m. That's UTC time. And again, the solstice, and I'm picking that up as a date and a generic time frame, because where we are within the earth, it depends whether it's going to be the 20th or the 21st. So basically what it is, it's the apex of the summer solstice eclipse. This is what is coming through from the higher frequencies, the higher realms. It's the apex of the summer solstice eclipse. This is the actual generic time frame upon the earth. So, but some of that is going to hit in between the 20th and the 21st, depending where you are on the Earth Mother. So first and foremost, what it is, from the spirit point of view, there is no linear time. The time is only an aspect from the Earth plane. And it is something that we would associate given rise to events. So the 20th, I'm just looking at the 20th of June 2020, which is actually the solstice date itself, this year. So we have 20/6/20. But if you have, looking at the life paths, numerology paths, if we add up 20, so we go 2 plus 0 plus 6 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0. Again, that gives us 10/1. So basically 10/1 is bringing us back into oneness and 0 point. So oneness and 0 point. If you look at, for me, it's 20/6/20. So if you look at number 6 is the DNA code of man, and it represents electricity and gravity. It represents the DNA and the life force and the blueprint. So again, this code comes in, it's a very structured code. So I'm working in code 6 in this lifetime, 42/6. You'll get 33/6, which is the Christ consciousness code. So many light workers have chosen that as their life path. So 33/6, 24/6, 24 is a code of Jupiter. and so forth. 42 is the code of the Neteru of Egypt. So again, all this comes into code 6, which is again working with the Akashic records, working with the DNA blueprints, working in the areas of healing, and life force itself. Life force itself comes from the sun solar. So 1 and 0. 1 and 0 is very much about oneness and 0 point. So then we move over onto the 21st of June 2020, and this is where the event in itself takes place in this linear time. And again, this is the apex of the summer solstice eclipse. So basically, as we're looking at 21, 2 plus 1 gives me 3, then you've got 6. Then I'm looking at 360 degrees of the zodiac, 360 degrees of the zodiac, which is a zodiac cycle. Again, we had winter solstice. Winter solstice was the turn. I shared a lot last year about the forthcoming events of winter solstice and the completion of the 7-year cycle and starting into a new cycle. We are now, and again, it is about the precession of equinoxes. I spoke a lot about back in Egypt, where we commence this current Aryan root race. I've done that previously during the age of Leo. Somebody's trying to message me over, and this is not always good when I'm trying to do a live. So when we are currently in this cycle, we're looking at the zodiac turn. There's a lot coming through. So basically 360 degrees. So 3, 6, okay, which is again stroke 4 numerology. So it's 2 plus 1, 3 plus 9, and then plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0. It equals 13, and 13 equals 4. We're currently in the year of 4, and again, when I'm connecting with 13, this is the code of the universe, and it is the return of Omega POiNT. It is the creative forces. Now, as we are looking at what is happening in our world, many of us are perceiving many events that are happening in the physical capacity. Chaotic forces are at play at the moment in the physical capacity. But often or not, when there is a chaotic force that's underway, it is a sign that we are about to embark on something new. It is a fundament and an underlining sign of a creative force itself. So basically what you're looking at is the actual universal events that are unfolding. I've also specified in terms of the main shifts that have taken place last year, changing age into the Aquarian age. Again, we're returning to Omega POiNT. This is something that's coming through very, very, very strongly. Certainly with code 13. And it is about the unification of galaxies. Horus spoke greatly and widely last year about June's event, and he said it is the event of grand unification. This is something that he spoke about, and it is about the convergence of galactic energies that are taking place. Certainly a lot of retrograde energies are unfolding this year. you perceive the retrograde how you perceive it to be. You can master that energy and use it to your greater good, or you can see it as, oh gosh, it's retrograde again. You know, and it depends on how you elevate your consciousness and your energy to receive and work within that energy to your greater advantage. And it's also about understanding at a higher level what and how the retrograde energies are here to serve you. So there's a lot of gravity happening. The omega point, when it returns to 0, again, it is when a lot of events and shifts really true start happening. So what I'm going to explain a little bit about the apex of the summer solstice eclipse. And what has been given to me, it is actually, what is actually happening is a straight line is crossing, a straight line crosses the sun, moon and the earth. And it is passing right close to the centres. So it passes close through the centres. So basically the sun, moon and the earth. And it actually usually happens when this line lays on the ecliptic line that hosts the Earth and other planetary orbits. As the eclipse is happening, as it happens, is going to happen on the 21st of June, the line also lays on the solstice plane that hosts the terrestrial planes itself. In several millennia, this precession of the equinox forces the rotational of the solstice plane to its actual position. Thus generating the conditions for the unique eclipse where the construction line dashes exactly to the celestial cross by the ecliptic and galactic equator. So basically we are working, there's a lot of stuff that's happening at galactic level, a lot of alignments with the galactic equator itself, and a lot of planets are going to be in as it should be within the galaxy itself, but there is a lot of events that's happening around the actual galactic equator itself, as well as the planetary equator. So basically a lot of it is to do with the lines and the celestial cross of the lines, which is going to make this particular eclipse quite unique in itself. It is going to be the most amazing alignment of this galactic history as we have ever seen it before in human history. So basically this is what is actually happening. It's something that has been foretold. Certain lot of planetary movements are pre-orchestrated. We're also in the tide of revelation as we are in now, and a lot of energies are now being revealed. A lot of truths are being revealed. and this is not about opinions from the 3D sense. We are talking about esoteric truth. Esoteric truth is completely different to the events that is unfolding at Earth plane. As we are ascending as elevated souls, we attune ourselves to the esoteric truth, and it's the esoteric truth of the universe. This is completely different to what is unfolding at Earth plane, to what people are being gravitated to currently at the Earth plane level. The chaoses, where they're gravitating to political parties' agendas, to events that are happening in the physical planes. What we should be doing as light workers and as beings of light is not be pulled into this arena, not be pulled and drawn into this arena of chaos and of judgment as well. We should be pulled into we should be gravitating to the love frequency, and to pull in the galactic energy, because what we are now being faced with is the return to Omega Point. This is the point of the creative force itself. We are entering a new paradigm itself. So what we are here to do, and this is where the split is now occurring, and I don't know if many of you are feeling this split, feeling this divide, feeling a sense of polarization that's happening on the earth plane levels. We are now in that arena where we have to sit and center ourselves, center our energies, ground our energies, and to create a love frequency that's coming in from the higher realms. To be awakened is to be awakened to the unseen and to the unseen forces, to the unseen energies that is happening, that is about to happen on the earth plane. This is what the true status of awakening is. Not being awakened to events that are happening around us, because each and every human has that ability to understand what's going on and hold opinions about what's going on at 3D earth plane level, because this is where the playground of learning is. But as we are stepping into in and above the 5D consciousness, we then become detached from what is happening at earth plane level. Yes, being detached, but being aware, because we are more aware of what's unfolding. We are also aware that events are orchestrated, events are happening, chaos happens as well. We understand all this. We also understand that this planet is a gravitational place that souls will come to learn, to grow, and to connect, and to understand that there is a wider picture. But we come down on this plane to actually learn lessons. It is the school of learning. The earth plane is a school of learning. This is where we come to evolve our souls into a greater, wider sphere. So there is a lot happening from Solstice Point. I wanted to share this with you because there's a lot coming through. Again, 2020, 4 pillars, 4 corners, and the 4. And I want to go to the medicine wheel and the 4 sides and the 4 corners of the medicine wheel. Back in ancient times, we worked with the medicine wheel. So you have the medicine wheel. As under shamanic practices, it's not just connected to the native the natives. It goes back into ancient history. The priest and priestess role of ancient times. We practiced the art of shamanism. We bring that energy in life after life. We work with medicine. In Egypt, we worked with Heka. Heka is magic and medicine. Magic and medicine is one. It's one. We worked with herbs. We also utilized, believe it or not, the herbs and what is deemed to be in this lifetime pharmaceuticals. Yes, they had pharmaceuticals back in ancient times, because Heka is about bringing a relief to disease. If you look at the ancient traditions about wanting to cure disease, it goes back into the ancients. It even goes back into Atlantis and Lemuria. The whole of this earth civilization has been about bringing the evolutionary processes, advancements and so forth. So yes, the priests and priestesses of ancient times practiced Heka. If you look into what Heka is all about, Heka, it is about working with that energy. This is what has transcended through time and space, through the force field of shamans, because even in the indigenous tribes, you had the medicine man or the medicine woman. This is part of who we are. We're working with herbs, we work with energy, we work with medicine, and we work with source. The four facets of the medicine wheel there are four facets of the medicine wheel. This is also year of 4. We're also working on the 4 pillars of society. And those 4 pillars could be whatever 4 pillars deemed to be. I've worked with French, with the healing of France. So yes, I worked with Louis and Marie Antoinette timeline, because that was given to me because it's part of my Akashic field to work with, and part of the karmic side as well. So basically, and any soul that actually is in that particular timeline, I mean, can you imagine how many souls are walking the earth? How many souls that were in France at that time? They are going to feel that energy, and a lot of people have felt that energy over the past year. So if you look at the 4 pillars, you're looking at the 4 assemblies that condemned Louis and Marie Antoinette to the blade of the Freemasons. So you had the 4 assemblies. The 4 assemblies, which is the Jews, the Freemasons, the Catholics, and society. So basically, you had that. I've spoken widely about that particular timeline. That is also connected to Jacques de Molay. Jacques de Molay was cast to the flames. It's also connected to Joan of Arc. That was cast to the flames, and it's also connected to the metaphors of Notre Dame, and the Notre Dame went up in flames, and again, everything is connected, which I'm fully aware of because I've been working right inside that energy, which is part of my force field, part of my soul force, and part of the lessons and mission that I've had to do upon this earth plane during this lifetime to bring this knowledge and awareness. I've also worked at the pardoning and rectification of the Knights Templars in this lifetime, and it has resulted with Pope Benedict pardoning the Knights Templars, which is again the healing and rise of the divine masculine. Everything is metaphoric. Everything is metaphoric. So when you are working within that energy, and you're actually working within the metaphors, and you understand those metaphors that are coming in, that is where your soul has been activated to the knowledge. Each soul will be activated to their own individual awareness, to their individual timelines, to their Akashic records, what needs to be dealt with, what needs to be released. Sometimes when I'm working with people on ascension paths, and I highlight and identify something that's coming from past life but is actually happening in this now, it brings a great resonance. It brings a great resonance to the clients. So this is what we are here to do. We're all each on paths. We're all each doing something that is bringing the greater good to push things forward. A lot of healing and a lot of release takes place when we go back into the spirit world upon our crossing over. Yet, what is now activating is bringing that knowledge into this current, because if we can actually bring that awareness into this current, we're working upon that energy, that light and so forth. We then, at the current end of our cycle, we become aware and attuned. We then go into a sphere of where we understand. So when we cross over, we can go into any plane that we resonate. But what happens if you then, because of your awareness and your soul awareness and your soul gravitation, that takes you into a higher plane. So when you are crossing over at the completion of your life cycle, that then takes your soul force essence into a higher plane, because you are attuned to that plane, and you're not going to go and cross over through fourth dimensional into the astral planes and then work yourself up, because this is what happens when souls are not aware and not attuned. They are walking the earth, doing what they're doing. So when I'm crossing souls over, there is a passage through into the spirit world, and that passage goes into 4D and up into 5D and up into the spiritual planes. So that's what normally happens, because these souls are not crossing over as they should do, because they're not being activated into the higher awareness. So they are either souls that are waiting for the coming of Christ, or there's a religion attached, or they've done something wrong, or they have followed an earth teaching where they feel they're going to be judged, or they've murdered someone. So when we're crossing souls over, we're saying that's not quite the case. This is what it is. This is what's going to happen. You are going to be meted and greeted by your loved ones and your guides. When you see the light and you enter into the light, you will be meted and greeted. And then they will take you in and make your transition. Your soul force energy is better going into that light, into that space where you can get the healing and release. This is what happens when we're doing spirit crossings and so forth. So bring in that energy, so as we as souls are elevating our consciousness up into that higher space, we cross over, we then bypass, because our consciousness is aware of a higher state. We are aware of a higher state. We become aware. We're aware of spirit. We're aware of our guides. We know who's guiding us. I've got many guides. Horus is my main guide, but I'm meted and greeted by a host of different guides from different timelines, different walks that I've known and acquainted with from past life situations. So, you know, this is what happens, and guides come in, guides go, guides come in to teach us, and then once we've been taught in a certain area, another guide comes in and takes you even further, and that's how it happens. This is the role of spirit guides, but you have one spirit guide that walks with you, and you walk with that spirit guide right throughout your life. And that's Horus is my main guide, but he's also my transfiguration guide. He's also my healer. So if I need healing, he's the one that does my healing. So there's a lot happening, but we have to get ourselves into that higher state. And we have to get ourselves into that higher state and be aware of what is happening in the world around us, but not participate in it. This is what Horus and my team have been saying. It is a sense of detachment, but detaching yourself, observing, knowing, being aware of what's going on, but not participating. And this is what we are being called to do. I on a recent post saw a lot of judgment going on about political leaders, and I just went in with a great big golden heart, and I just went, I like to shed light on this negative situation. Please receive the golden energy. Please enter and receive this higher frequency, for then this will activate you into a greater awareness and understanding. This is not the place that we need to be. We need to be working from a higher frequency of light and love, knowing that each and every soul has been called for their journey and their purpose. And that includes all human race. It includes all leaders. It includes all political parties, royal families, celebrities, humanitarians, doctors, nurses, you know, whoever we are and whatever we are doing on this earth plane, we're all have been given a task and a mission. We are not here to gravitate ourselves into speculation and so forth, because that is not our jobs to speculate. What our jobs is to recognize, to understand, and to grow into that understanding. If someone is not acting as they should be, because they are working from a space of darkness, that darkness means that that soul is not currently at that point of evolution, and that soul may be going through some very tough and challenging times. So as light workers, we will then turn around and say, that's okay. We send healing and light on that situation. What we don't say is, I'm not giving my energy to that situation because that person is a reptilian, or that person is not worthy to receive. What we do is we set the intention of light and love. But we also know that if events and situations are not working to the higher good, then we know that there is an orchestrated cause of events that will happen, that will shift that situation into a a more beneficial outcome. So if, for example, a political leader is not fulfilling their role for the highest outcome of their country and is building up such a karmic debt, because that's what happens with political leaders. They've signed karmic agreements, and yes, the karmic board is in session at this time. They sit at solstice. They sit at the time when the energies are changing, because the karmic board is not about naughty, 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 have you done right or have you done wrong. The karmic board is about working with the cosmic shifts and events, and with soul councils, that is working with souls. They're a group of elders that work with soul councils to help souls grow and evolve. They're not there to go naughty, naughty, naughty. They're not a judgment board. They're working with the cosmic shifts and events. They're working at planning incarnations, not just on this plane, on this earth plane. They work with other civilizations as well within the system. So basically, this is not about what people perceive the karmic board to be. So yes, they're looking at events. They are looking at what can be done for the greater good of humanity, given the current and forthcoming cycle of events that are taking place within this galaxy, within this system, and what is happening at planetary level. So that is what's happening. So if a particular leader is doing good or not doing good, yes, that is reviewed. If there is room for change, they will manifest that change. That will be for the greater good of humanity on the longer term, because everything is about learning. We have currently a split that's happening. Now, if that gravitational split is moving the Earth to a point that the energy of the Earth Mother cannot sustain it, then the forces to be will step in to manifest what is going to be for a higher outcome. So there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scene. A lot of souls may not understand or understand when I say that the current events, including the pandemic, well, our souls knew that was going to happen. There is a pre-orchestration of events that takes place upon this planet and within the system. When you take clients, and many regression therapists will tell you this, when you are taking clients in regression, working with past life and life between lives, you then understand orchestrates their lessons, their understandings, their participations, their families, the dates of birth, and so forth. So they also orchestrate when they want to leave the body and come back into the spirit world and to move forward. The soul is the orchestrator of its own journey, and that is the truth of the spirit world. Any guide that comes through in trance state will also tell you this. You as souls are your own orchestrators of life. There is no mind control. You are the only ones that control your own mind, your own thoughts, and your own actions. That does not come from anybody else other than yourself. You choose what you want to believe. You choose who you want to follow. You choose what resonates with your own path, light, and understanding. And that is the truth of it. And we come into this and we understand that we are here to connect, to master, and to learn lessons. But that forms part of our own soul evolution. And this is what we are here to do. We're all here in this time frame, in this now, to experience the experience of now, to experience what has unfolded and what is to unfold. Many of us have signed difficult contracts. As Horace has said that to me, you've signed a difficult contract. And that is because we are evolved souls. The more evolved souls that you are, the more difficult contracts that you sign, because you know you've done it, you've seen it, you've worn the t-shirt, and you want to take yourselves to the next level of challenge. The world that we live in at this moment in time is embracing challenge. The galactic forces, the galactic energies are now becoming even more prevalent and more challenging. And this is the space that we are in. This is what we have been called to do. And for many of us, it is a blessing, because we know that we have come here on a mission. We know we're on a mission. We know that there are shifts happening. We know there are important cycles that are happening. We know we want to participate in these events. We want to be able to bring this light, this message, this love, this healing to people, and to activate others into a greater sense of awareness. This is what we're here to do. We're here to say, look, we're here of light and love. We know that you're on a mission. We know that there is no death, but only life eternal. We know that your stop over here on this planet is a holiday period. We also understand, and even mediums, right? We do have human condition. We understand the pain when we're losing loved ones. Yes, we will cry, and we have that period where we're releasing, because that's part of the human condition. So many souls have been lost over recent months, and I've also been on a mission down at my local cemetery, embracing families that have lost loved ones, bearing witness, and it is a challenge, and it is a sad time for many people who've lost loved ones, but also knowing that these souls that have certainly lost their lives to the COVID-19 knew that they was going to participate in this crisis or challenge and current event. They knew, they orchestrated it, they knew. And I say to families, and I say to friends, that your loved one is a true warrior. Your loved one participated in an event because your friend wanted to grow, to expand, to experience, not through ignorance, but wanted to understand what it was about firsthand. And also for the souls that have experienced the pandemic firsthand and have recovered. They've done it because they're experiencing it. And this is one of the examples I wanted to put across, because there's so much judgment, so much speculation, and so many people are putting it out there. It's a false flag. I've even had it put on my wall. It's a psyop, or whatever they want to understand it to be. Yes, we go through cycles of pandemics. It's happened in many, many lifetimes and many cycles. But what happens as humanity? We take that lesson. We're not here to judge upon that lesson. We're not here to point our fingers of blame, but to actually say, right, this has been a lesson. What can we learn from this lesson? And we ask ourselves from the space of love and compassion and healing, okay? Because we are the priests and priestesses. We're looking at what can we do to nurture our own wellness, to understand our wellness, our mind, body and spirit, and so forth. And we ask and do this of ourselves from higher perspective. And we look after our well-being through meditation, through herbs. If we're doing herbal remedies and teas and, working with spices and herbs and utilising that and eating the right food and drinking the right drink, looking after our well-being from the well-being perspective, we do that. We do that because we know that we want to look after the vessels that we're in. We want to make sure that we're creating that alignment. I'm not saying that you have to go be strict upon your diet or anything like that, but we know what we must do to look after our own well-being. So we have to move forward, working forward, moving the energy forward with love and compassion. Yes, there are a lot of events that are unfolding. I am aware that we are going to be working with the Earth Mother and her metaphors. And I say the Earth Mother and her metaphors because the Earth Mother and her metaphors has many conditions at this time. Working with the templates, and yes, there are going to be template shifts within the Earth Mother herself, and these template shifts will cause disturbances. But as these disturbances are going to happen, what we do is we create an energetic force field and we send healing, because this is what we do. This is what we do. So yes, there are galactic events and shifts happening. I shared recently on the 5th of June, we had an asteroid that came in alignment between the moon and the Earth itself. And again, that was an event. A lot of people go into a space of fear when that happens. I see them as galactic and planetary events. And again, we are having a mammoth of events happening. This particular year is retrogrades, lots of retrogrades. We have Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter and Venus in retrograde. We're also having Mercury entering into retrograde. We're also going to have later this year other planets going into retrograde as well. So there is a lot of retrograde energies in 2020. And 2020 is a year, and a lot of people will call it the year of tribulation. A year of tribulation, it feels like that. But we're here to make the most and learn and go with the tide of the water. Working with the water and working with the fire codes, you understand about movement, and you understand about energy. So this is what we do. We work with the flow of the energy, we move forward, and we grow together in light and love. I'm going to say God bless you all. Enjoy your Sunday. God bless you all. And I will connect with you all soon. God bless.